Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today I'm going to be talking about 13 series that I want to start in the year 2023. Now, I'm not reviewing the video that I filmed last year about the 10 series I want to start in 2022 because I didn't succeed. I think I started maybe one of them. I sucked. It was not a great reading year for me, regardless in terms of quantity. So I'm wiping the slate. I'm wiping the slate clean, and instead I'm just gonna talk about 13 series that I hope to start. Now this is ambitious because really I'm gonna start 13 series. I can't even finish I can't read one book a month. There aren't 13 books in a month. Whatever. But it's 13 because I'm kind of cheating a little bit as far as which ones that I'm gonna do, and you'll see. So I'm I need to add some more, or else half of them are read-alongs that I've already scheduled, and that's just the same video you've already seen. So, whatever. It's a year of boundless possibilities, because it'll be the year where I can flip and get out of this stupid chair and walk on 2 feet again. It's been a month since I put both of my dang feet on the ground supporting weight, and I'm tired of it. So, without wasting any more time.
Quiet, you trash!
Let's talk about the series that I am planning on reading. And guess what? I said without wasting any more time. I lied to you. I'm gonna waste some more time because this is not going to be, hey guys, guess what? I am starting the 4 biggest, longest, densest, most thought-provoking, philosophical, difficult to read series in fantasy. I'm starting all of them right in January. I'm starting every single one. Those are the series I'm starting. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Most of these are trilogies. Not all, but most of them are trilogies. And most of them aren't too long. Because why? Guys, let me ask you a question. Why are some of y'all reading Malazan, Prince of Nothing, Game of Thrones, Realm of the Elderlings? Why are y'all reading all of those at once? Anyway, whatever. You can read what you want. You can read what you want. Boom, 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 boom. Let's start. So, these aren't in any order. So the first 4, I'm just going to hit 1 through 4 right here. Number 1 is the Cicero trilogy by Robert Harris. The first book being Imperium. Yeah, this is just about Cicero. This is the first read-along that I'm running from January to March over on my channel. It's about the life of Cicero, and it's kind of like Roman Law and Order from what I hear. I like that it has a frame narrative where Cicero's slave and secretary and freedman later is basically telling the story of his master's life from a later perspective. The second series is going to be the Risen Kingdom series, which starts with An Alchemy of Mask and Mirrors by Curtis Craddock, and it has airships and swashbuckling and daring do and French names. So you know it must be authentic. So you know it must have authentic Three Musketeer Alexander Dumas vibes. So we'll be starting that one in April, and that's exciting. I've heard great things from many people whose opinion I value. Number 3 is the one after that. That is the Empire Trilogy by Jenny Wirtz and Raymond Feist. It is part of the Rift War cycle, but most people, except for one, Rogue... He has told me you should probably read the other ones beforehand, but everyone else says, you're probably fine. The first book being The Daughter of the Empire, strong female character, Japanese-inspired setting, cool stuff. We'll be starting that one in July. And then finally, the Engineer Trilogy by K.J. Parker. I've been wanting to start this since I started BookTube. It is about an engineer who, I guess, makes a mistake and is run out of town, is separated from his family, and apparently starts a war so that he can be reunited with them. So that sounds exciting, and I've never read a K.J. Parker trilogy, so we will see. So, number 5. I got through 4 of them super fast. Number 5, and one that is not, in fact, on my read-alongs that I was already going to start. I kind of cheated there. Number 5 is going to be one that has been on every single one of these that I've made since I started BookTube, and that is the Deathgate cycle. I know people who have said, it's fine. And I remember not liking the final 3 books as much as I liked the first 4, but I really remember enjoying the first 4 books of the Deathgate cycle by Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. The first one being Dragonwing. The Realm of Air, which is Dragonwing, is really kind of I think it's my least favorite of them because I don't like Bane.
You suck, Bane. Who said that?
Bane's I hate him. I hate him. Just push him off the airship. I hate Bane. Hugh the Hand is fine, but Haplo is where it is at. One of my favorite kind of anti-heroes before every character was an anti-hero. And I love the magic system. I love the backstory between the patrons and the Sartan. You know, the Sartan, or the patrons, I don't know, one of those two ancient races sundered the world. Oh, the Sartans did it. They imprisoned their enemies, the patrons, in a labyrinth, and they sundered the world so the patrons couldn't take it over. And so there's a world of air, fire, wind, and water. And, sorry, air, fire, earth, and water. And Haplo has to go visit all of them, and then afterwards, those are the first 4 books, and those are the best ones, that I think. Anyway, I'm definitely going to start it. I think Andrew and I are going to read it in February. There is a almost 100% chance that Andrew will start it before me and just be done before I can even start it, which does not lend itself to me actually beginning it, but that's how anything goes when anybody says they're going to read anything with me. So, whatever. I'm gonna start it this year. Next on the list, we have Dreaming the Eagle, which is book 1 of the Boudica trilogy by Manda Scott. Now, this is a beast. It's a monster. It's freaking huge, and it doesn't need to be huge, but I guess it is. So, I love historical fiction. I am really, really getting into historical fiction, especially Greek and Roman historical fiction. If you do not know who Boudica is, she is the girl bossest of girl boss. She is better than Cleopatra. Too many people like Cleopatra. And there's so many, like, Cleopatra retellings coming out now, as if Cleopatra is interesting. Guys, she's not. Like, I know you want her to be, but she's really not. Like, she's not. There are so many more ancient women who are so much more interesting than Cleopatra. Regardless. Boudica was the wife of a chieftain of the Iceni tribe on conquered Roman Britain. And the Romans over there in occupied Britain, they killed her husband and they burned her land and they assaulted one of her daughters. And so Boudica said, oh, no longer. And Boudica led an extraordinarily bloody uprising against occupied Roman Britain. Now, she did not win, because you don't win revolts against occupied Roman territory unless you're the Parthians or the Germans. And she was doomed. Like, it was doomed to start with. But, man, did it make the Romans think twice. Boudica is freaking awesome. So, the Brothers Gwyn have talked about this amazing book and about how great it is. I know John Gwyn loves it. And so I got to read this because I teach my students about Boudica, and they all like Boudica. They say, yes, Boudica. But Boudica is awesome. So I want to read this book. It is probably, it's very high on the historical fiction books that I want to read this year. Next on the list, I want to read the Swords Point series, I guess. Swords Point being the first book by Ellen Kushner, and the front page says the melodrama of manners, where it's like some fancy, I guess, like Renaissance city where everybody has a rapier and everything's settled by duels, like how dare you, pistols except not pistols, like rapiers at dawn, and they just do that, and it's like it says, a melodrama of manners, and I think I'm really gonna like it. Sarah from Sarah Reads, I know likes it, and I want to read this series because she is reading some things that I like this year in an attempt to win back my friendship. So I thought that I could also throw a token of support her way as well by reading this one. And it sounds really cool. And she also wants to read the next one, the one after this. I don't know how many books there are in this series, but I know Sarah wants to read the one after this as well, so I figured I'll try to catch up and maybe read it with her. But knowing me and anybody trying to read it with me, I will get left behind. Anyway, it seems very fancy, and I think it's fancy people being fancy while fancily stabbing each other with fancy rapiers, which I am totally cool with. So, Swords Point by Ellen Kushner. So the next one on this list is a shout out to my boy Michael Knipp, the master of song, the bard of the airwaves.
Crazy like they jaw broke.
And that is the Pines trilogy, Wayward Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch. So me and Blake Crouch have been alright, I guess. Like, Dark Matter is slightly sub-mid, and I thought Recursion was kind of mid. I don't know what his deal is. His books are too long, and they're not even long. Someone said he's like the next Michael Crichton, which maybe if Michael Crichton, didn't stop to explain anything or have, character interactions, or anything like that. I don't know. But I have heard that Crouch's Wayward Pines trilogy is actually really good, or really good for Blake Crouch. So that's what I want to do. Like, it's not like he keeps coming out with books, and no one says like the new ones are like the best. So is he just like not? Is he getting worse? Anyway, I want to read the first one's Pines, and I have it, and they're short, and I like to mix in things because I've somehow found myself in reading slumps if I end up reading a lot of the exact same, especially if it's like heavily military, and I love military fantasy. But if there's a lot of people dying and running around and dying, I just get worn down, and I think it's because I don't want to be sad. So I've been interspersing Pratchett books and like other stuff, so mysteries, like whatever. I'm gonna start this series. I should have no problem adhering to this one because they are not long and they do read very, very quickly. And this one's for you, Michael. All right, number 9. Again, not in order, but the 9th one is, I'm doing it. I'm starting Threadlight. Threadlight series by my friend, Zach Argyle. You have seen Hillary on Jeopardy not once, but twice. She is the reason that I remember to clear the buzzer, and they are my friends, and I am a terrible friend because I have said I'm going to read this, and I haven't, and that's stupid. So I'm going to be a good friend this year, and I'm going to frickin' read at least Voice of War of Threadlight. I'm so tired of not, like, I gotta start sticking to what I'm, like, I gotta have my yes mean yes and my no mean no. I gotta stop this. I gotta stop it. So, I'm gonna read Threadlight. The first book is Voice of War. I don't know what it's about other than Threadlight is the magic system, and I have heard that each book gets successively better. So I'm excited to start that and earn my good friend card back. All right, the 10th series I want to start is, and y'all don't go down to the freaking comments and tell me how mid or bad it is Temeraire, which is Napoleonic War. It's literally Napoleon, but there's dragons instead. And I've heard it's mid, and some people really, really like it, but a lot of people are saying, don't read it, it's terrible. It's mid. I don't care, guys. I like Flintlock Fantasy. I like the Napoleonic Wars. The Napoleonic Wars with dragons, it's not going to be something that's going to, like, send me into a slump or the destruction of my channel like the Emperor's Blades. It's probably something that after I read the first one physically, just like Sharp, that I can read the rest on audio, which really helps me when I have that extra method of consumption. But some of them are really, really hard to read. Like, I'm trying to read Blade itself right now on audio, and I'm just struggling because I don't know what any of these names are. So I think I really, in a series, I at least need to read the first one before listening to the rest on audio, especially if they're fantasy. But I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be able to listen to or deal with Temeraire here. So if you don't like it, cool. I'm going to start it anyway. In fact, if you tell me, like, if you're down there like witching and moaning about it, like, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to figure out which series you want me to start, and I'm going to not start that one and start Temeraire instead.
You know what? I'm going to start dating her even harder.
And so the final 3 are also a little bit cheating, which is why, again, why I have 13. So number 11 is The Lyman Chronicles by Dorothy Dunnett, book 1 being A Game of Kings. So I am behind on my patron reads. I was every other month, like, taking randomly picking a patron or a book and having them and reading that one or having them pick one, and I just got behind. I am like 6 months behind on those, and so I'm going to catch up in 2023 and then hopefully start that over again. So the first one is A Game of Kings. It's chosen by my wonderful, wonderful friend and Hand of the King, Klaus from the Contradictorian, and this is about a 16th century Scottish nobleman who gets into, like, exploits, I guess. But everything I hear about Dorothy Dunnett's writing is that it's just laden with allusions and references. Often, and I'm pretty good about that when it's like a historical period I know. The 16th century Scotland and like prior is not really my specialty. And so I bought a companion to go with it that explains every reference frickin' Lyman uses. So all those French poetry references, which I guarantee you I'm not going to understand a one of them, got a little book to tell me what they mean. This is Klaus's favorite series of all time. I'm hoping that I am able to understand it and that it's not just super pretentious and dense and that it's, you know, bad. I want it to be good so bad. So, I will be reading that in 2023 to start the Lyman Chronicles series as well. Number 12 is another trying to catch up on patron read, and that is The Book of the New Sun. I'm not reading it because, you know, I've heard that Gene Wolfe is just a master and has written a masterpiece and is, you know, written this big, like, dense work of fiction. That's not why I'm reading it. I'm reading because it was a patron pick, which is fine. All those other things are true, that it is, you know, one of the sci-fi masterpieces. I also have a guide to read it, too, a little chapter-by-chapter guide, because it apparently is also laden with, like, what? Why do people write stuff that you need guides to do? Do y'all understand? Like, do y'all know why? Like, why do people write books that require a study guide in order to fully appreciate them? What if, and follow me, what if we wrote stuff that was easily understandable and enjoyable by everybody without a study guide? What if we just did that? Like, is that required for it to be good? Anyway, I've heard it's excellent, but man, freaking study guides, I got to do freaking work. But, again, it was a patron pick. I'm behind, so I will be starting that. I think the first book is Shadow of the Torturer. I'll be reading that at least. It's less than 300 pages, glory be. So at least I'll be able to get through that first one. And finally, the 13th series that I plan to start, and I definitely will, is another patron pick, and it's my oldest one, and that is the Vorkosigan series, Vorkosigan Saga, by Lois McMaster Bujold, the first book being Shards of Honor. It is also less than 300 pages. It's a sci-fi. It follows one of the two main characters in the Vorkosigan saga, Cordelia, the other one being Miles Vorkosigan. And so, yeah, I'm not really sure what else it's about. Oh, yeah, they're there and waiting for, like, she ends up in charge of a crap ship or whatever. So I'm excited to get that started as well, especially since I've heard Lois McMaster Bujold is fantastic. I know that people say Curse of Chalion, one of her fantasy books, is just phenomenal. So I will be starting that. I hear that Shards of Honor is not the best book, and that she just gets better as it goes. But I'm in need of sci-fi series, especially ones that don't have books that are like 800 pages. So I'm hoping that Vorkosigan will scratch that itch, and I can tick off a vow that I made, or like a claim that I made on this video, and honor my patron pick as well. So those are the 13 series that I hope to start. I promise I will do better than just one of them, which is what I did for last year. So yeah, so stay tuned and wait till December to see how many I didn't and failed at, which just makes me feel bad about myself as a person. So what series are you guys starting this year? Regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're planning on, series you're most excited to start in this coming year. And as always, information about Patreon and Discord is down in the description. And I'll see you next time, guys.